Imagine you're packing for a short trip. You've got a backpack that can carry up to 7 kilograms, no more. In front of you are 4 items to choose from. Each has a specific weight and value. For example, item A weighs 1 kilogram and is worth $15. Item B weighs 3 kilograms and is worth $20. Item C weighs 4 kilograms and is worth $30. And item D weighs 5 kilograms and is worth $50. You can only take each item once, no splitting them up and no duplicates. So here's the problem. How should you choose which items to pack so that the total weight stays within the limit, but the total value is as high as possible? This is exactly what the 0-1 knapsack problem is about. It's called 0-1 because each item has only 2 options. You either take it or you don't. No partial items and no taking multiples. Now, when people first encounter this problem, they often think of solving it with brute force recursion. Here's the basic idea. Starting from the first item, you go down the list one by one. At each step, you consider 2 options: skip the item or take it. You do this recursively for every item and every decision path. In the end, you compare all the possible results and pick the one with the highest total value. Let's look at a simple recursive Python implementation. We define a function called Knapsack that takes 4 parameters: WT for weights, val for values, cap for remaining capacity, and index, which tells us which item we're looking at. First, we check if we've reached the end of the list. If index equals the total number of items, we return 0 because there's nothing left to consider. Then we explore 2 paths. 1, we skip the current item. That means we move on to the next item without changing the capacity. 2, we take the current item, but only if its weight doesn't exceed the remaining capacity. If it fits, we add its value and subtract its weight from the capacity, then recursively move to the next item. Finally, we compare the 2 outcomes, take or skip, and return the larger value. This method is simple and easy to understand, but it's also very inefficient. Its time complexity is exponential, specifically 2 to the power of n. So for 4 items, we may explore up to 16 different paths. For 5 items, that number jumps to 32. The more items you have, the more the recursion tree explodes, and performance quickly becomes unacceptable. So how can we optimize this? If you look closely at the recursive process, you'll notice that the same subproblems may show up again and again with the same parameters, like having the same remaining capacity and the same item index in different paths. In our small example, these duplicates aren't too obvious, but as the input size grows, the overlap becomes huge. To solve this, we can use a technique called Memoization, also known as top-down dynamic programming. It helps us avoid solving the same problem multiple times by storing the results of subproblems in a cache. Here's how the optimized version works. We build on the recursive approach, but add a 2D list called DP to save the results. Each entry in DP represents a subproblem, defined by the current item index and remaining capacity. The main function, Knapsack, still takes weights, values, and the capacity. It sets up the DP table with -1 in every cell, which just means we haven't calculated it yet. We then define a helper function that does the recursion. At the beginning of each recursive call, we check if the result for the current index and capacity is already in the memo table. If so, we return it immediately without further recursion. If it's not, we continue just like before. Explore both the pick and not pick options, take the max, store the result in DP, and return it. With Memoization, we avoid repeated work. The time complexity drops to O(n) times cap, which is a huge improvement. But there's another popular way to solve this: the bottom-up approach, often called the Tabulation Method. Instead of solving the big problem first and breaking it down, we flip the process. Start with the smallest possible subproblems and build our way up. Here's the key idea behind the state transition. Suppose we're processing the item at position I and the remaining capacity is W. We have 2 choices. First, we skip this item. In that case, the best value we can get is the same as if we had only considered the first I-1 items. That's DP of I-1 W. Second, we choose to take this item, but only if it fits in the backpack. If we take it, we add its value, val at I, plus the best value we can get with the remaining capacity, which is W minus WT at I. That's dP at I minus 1, W minus WT at I. We then pick the maximum of these two options. Let's walk through a table to see how this works in action. We'll use the same example as before, a backpack with a capacity of 7 kilograms and 4 items, A, B, C, and D. The horizontal axis of the table represents capacities from 0 to 7. The vertical axis represents how many items we've considered so far. As we move down each row, we add one more item into consideration. Each cell tells us the max value we can get with a given capacity and a given number of items. Start with the first row, item A. It weighs 1 kilogram and is worth $15. For capacities less than 1, the value is 0. For capacities 1 and above, we can take A, so the value becomes 15. We fill in the rest of the row with 15. Now, the second row. Here we're considering items A and B. Item B weighs 3 kilograms and is worth $20. For capacities 0, 1, and 2, B is too heavy, so we simply copy the values from the row above. At capacity 3, we now face a choice. We can skip item B and keep the value from the previous row, that's 15. Or we can choose to take item B, which has a value of 20. If we take B, it uses up 3 kilograms, so the remaining capacity is 0. At 0 capacity in the previous row, the maximum value is 0. So the total value when taking B is 20 plus 0, which equals 20. Now we compare 15 if we skip, or 20 if we take B. Since 20 is greater, we choose to take B and write 20 in the cell. At capacity 4, we again have two options. If we skip item B, we keep the value from the previous row, that's 15. If we take B, we get 20 from B, and we have 1 kilogram of capacity left. Looking at the previous row at capacity 1, the best value we can get is 15. So the total value if we take B is 20 plus 15, which equals 35. Now we compare 15 if we skip B, or 35 if we take it. Clearly, taking B gives a higher value, so we fill in 35. We continue in this way, always comparing two choices. Skip the current item or take it. If we skip it, we simply copy the value from the previous row at the same capacity. If we take it, we add its value to the best value achievable with the remaining capacity in the previous row. Then, we take the maximum of the two options. In the end, we reach the bottom right cell of the table, and it shows 65. That means the maximum value we can pack into the 7 kilogram backpack is 65. Here's the corresponding Python code for the tabulation method. We use a two-dimensional list called dP, where the entry at row I and column W represents the best value achievable using items from index 0 up to I with capacity W. All cells start initialized to 0. We first fill out row 0. For each capacity, if the backpack can hold item 0, we set the value to that item's value. Otherwise, it stays at 0. Then we move through the table row by row, item by item, updating each cell by comparing the pick and not pick options. At the end, we return the value in the bottom right corner of the table. That is, the result for all items with full capacity. Like memoization, the tabulation method also has a time complexity of O(n) times cap. But since it doesn't use recursion, it usually runs faster in practice. Through this process, we can clearly see that the 0-1 knapsack problem has two key properties of dynamic programming. The first is overlapping subproblems, meaning the same smaller problems get solved multiple times. The second is optimal substructure, which means the best solution to the big problem can be built from the best solutions to its smaller parts. Because of these two features, dynamic programming is a perfect way to solve this problem efficiently. And just to wrap things up, there are a few common variations of the 0-1 knapsack problem you might want to explore later. For example, the unbounded knapsack, where you can take unlimited copies of each item, or the bounded knapsack, where each item can only be taken a limited number of times. If you're interested, feel free to dive into those on your own. That's it for today's video on the 0-1 knapsack problem. I hope it helped you get a clearer and deeper understanding of dynamic programming. If you found it useful, please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends prepping for coding interviews. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.